Now, let's talk about those factories on TikTok. Like I said in my previous video, and I believe many of you have seen all kinds of videos about Chinese factories recently. Let me explain why this is happening. Overall, export to the US accounts for about 13% of Chinese total export. If we're looking at the big picture, tariffs do affect China, but not significantly. The data is there. But if we look into individual factories specifically, the impact could be range from 0 to potentially fatal, because I used to work with many factories before, and each factory produced different specification of goods with different production line, depending on their target market focus. There are many reasons behind it, like market demand and supply, the market competition, the regularity requirements, and supplier requirements, etc. If my factory are focused on produce goods for Asian markets only, like we say I do Japan market, I'd be sitting in my office, drinking a tea and reading newspaper about the tariff war, because it doesn't concern me at all. It's none of my business. But for some factories that exclusively produce goods for US market, suddenly all their orders disappeared because of the tariff. Bankrupt is what awaits them next. So they are trying their best to selling products at a lower price just to survive. But at the same time, I have seen many factories claiming they are the supplier of the big brands. I even know some of them personally. But don't worry, they won't get mad at me because of saying this. In any business, I value transparency, efficiency, and precision, and making money through a fair competition. That's how I do things. That's also what they know before we work together. Let me be directly. They are a supplier, yes, but some of them only supply certain components or parts to big brands. Let me give you an example while trying not to name anyone. Take a branded bicycle, for instance. All these high-quality products you see are usually assembled from high-quality components made by different specialized factories. For example, for the same bicycle, the frame from factory A, tires from factory B, chains from factory C, and gear system from factory D. So the factory A, B, C, and D can all be called a supplier for this big bicycle brand. Don't get me wrong, I'm super confident on Chinese factories. Some of them can absolutely produce goods comparable to big brands. It's no doubt, easy peasy. But some of them, they are just specialized in making certain components. Like, if my factory are making zippers for luxury clothes, we make the best high-quality zipper in China. Of course, if you ask me, I would say I'm the big brand supplier too. But if I trying to make a complete clothes by myself, maybe they will as good as our zipper. But at the same time, they may not working that well. Of course, it also depends on the factory itself and the product. This also explains what I mentioned in my last video about FTA issued a free trade agreement. The real major suppliers would have a NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, signed with the brands. They will be sued by saying they are the supplier in public. So even they say, screw it, we are done with US market, no more working with American companies. But they still need future cooperate with other countries. Doing this would damage their credibility. So most likely, the real big supplier, they wouldn't take such actions, to be honest.